Have you ever been one click away from changing your life, but something held you back? Maybe it was fear. Maybe it was doubt. That was me, staring at the buy button for my very first stock. The weight of all the things that could go wrong played out in my mind like a bad movie. But what if I told you that moment was the beginning of everything? What if you could finally crack the code of investing and take control of your financial future? You're about to learn the exact steps that can turn that hesitation into confidence. And believe me, it's simpler than you think. By the end of this video, you'll be ready to make your first investment with no fear and no hesitation. Stay with me, because this story has just begun. Today, I'm going to share something that completely transformed my life: investing. When I started, I was just like you, overwhelmed by all the jargon, nervous about losing money, and frankly, a little confused. I thought investing was only for rich people or financial experts in suits. Spoiler, it's not. Here's the thing. Investing isn't about how much money you have. It's about how much you know. And the great news is, you don't need to be an expert to start. You just need a few key principles that anyone can follow. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly how to make your money work for you, instead of the other way around. But there's a catch. Most people get stuck at the starting line because they don't know what they don't know. Today, I'm going to walk you through everything, step by step, and even reveal the one mindset shift that will change the way you think about money forever. But first, let me share a quick story of how I almost messed it all up. When I first dipped my toes into the world of investing, I did what most people do. I listened to the so-called experts, followed the hot stock tips, and thought, this has to be the way people get rich. Spoiler alert, I was wrong. I was chasing trends, buying stocks because someone said, this one's gonna explode. But here's what nobody tells you. Most of the advice you hear is designed to confuse you. Why? Because when you're confused, you don't act. And when you don't act, you stay stuck. So I started digging. I read books, watched hours of videos, and something clicked. The best investors, the ones who make consistent gains over time, aren't following trends. They're following principles. And here's where it gets interesting. I'm about to share one simple framework that'll make everything about investing fall into place. It's called the investment triangle. Let me introduce you to the investment triangle. This is the framework I wish someone had handed me when I first started. It breaks down every investment into three parts: safety, growth, and liquidity. Safety is all about protecting the money you've already got. Growth is about making that money grow over time. And liquidity? That's your ability to access your money when you need it. I learned the hard way that focusing too much on just one part of the triangle is a recipe for disaster. In my early days, I put everything into high-growth stocks, thinking I'd get rich quick. Guess what? I didn't. I ignored safety and liquidity. And when the market dropped, I had no backup plan. But what if I told you there's a way to balance all three? I'm going to walk you through how to do just that. But before we dive deeper, let me tell you about the moment I realized it's okay to start small. I remember my very first investment. It was about the cost of this cup of coffee. That's right, just $5. It felt insignificant, like it wouldn't make any difference. But here's the thing. It wasn't the amount that mattered. It was the act of starting. Starting small is one of the smartest things you can do, because when you start small, you allow yourself to make mistakes that won't cost you everything. And more importantly, you let something magical happen: compound growth. But here's where most people miss out. Starting small is just the first step. There's a strategy to grow your wealth faster without increasing your risk. And I'm going to share that with you. In just a minute, let me introduce you to the greatest force in the universe: compound interest. Albert Einstein himself called it the eighth wonder of the world. But what is it really? Think of it like this. When you plant a seed, it grows into a small plant. But as time goes on, that plant starts to bear fruit. The longer you wait, the more fruit it bears. In investing, compound interest works the same way. The longer you leave your money invested, the more it grows. Not just from your original investment, but from the returns your investment has already earned. It's growth on top of growth. But here's the secret to unlocking the real power of compound interest. Most people don't know this, but there's a way to supercharge it. And no, it's not about picking riskier investments. I'll get to that soon, but first, I remember when the market took a dive. It was a sinking feeling, watching my investments lose value day after day. But here's what I learned. The only people who lose everything in a crash are the ones who weren't prepared for it. This is where risk management comes in. One of the best ways to manage risk is through diversification, which means not putting all your money into one investment. You've probably heard the saying, don't put all your eggs in one basket. Well, it applies to investing too. But here's a trick most beginner investors never hear about until it's too late. Long-term thinking. Most of the biggest mistakes I've made in investing happened because I was thinking short-term. So how do you avoid falling into this trap? I'll show you. I'll never forget the time I followed a hot stock tip. Everyone was talking about it, and I thought I was going to make a quick profit. Spoiler, I lost money. The lesson: never follow the crowd without doing your own research. Researching investments doesn't have to be complicated. Start by understanding what a company does, its financial health, and its potential for growth. Focus on fundamentals, things like earnings, cash flow, and management quality. But what if I told you there's a way to shortcut the research process while still making informed decisions? Stick with me, and I'll reveal where you can get trustworthy information without drowning in research overload. Let me take you back to my biggest investing mistake. I was chasing a hot stock and got greedy. I saw it shoot up in value and thought, I can't lose. But the very next day, it crashed. Hard. I panicked and sold at a loss, realizing I'd let my emotions dictate my decisions. That's when I learned the importance of staying calm. Most beginner investors make the same mistakes over and over, chasing trends, getting emotional, and ignoring fees and taxes. Here's the reality. Fees and taxes can quietly eat away at your gains. And panic selling, when the market dips and you freak out, can turn paper losses into real ones. But there's one guiding principle that will help you avoid almost every mistake, and it's simpler than you think. Investing is more than just numbers on a screen. It's about mindset. When I first started, I had a get-rich-quick mentality, and it hurt me. I wanted fast results, and when they didn't come, I got frustrated and made bad decisions. But then I made a shift. I stopped thinking about investing as a sprint and started seeing it as a marathon. It wasn't about getting rich overnight, it was about building wealth over time, and that's the key. Patience, discipline, and emotional control are what separate successful investors from everyone else. But here's where it gets exciting. The moment you shift your mindset, everything changes. You stop worrying about the daily ups and downs and start focusing on the bigger picture. And here's the best part. You'll start to see results when you least expect it. So let's recap. We covered a lot today, but the key takeaways are simple. 1. Start small. Don't be afraid to begin with just a little. 2. Diversify. Spread your investments across different areas to reduce risk. 3. Think long-term. Don't let short-term emotions control your decisions. 4. Research your investments. Don't just follow trends. Most importantly, focus on your mindset. Patience, discipline, and emotional control will guide you to success. These principles have completely changed my life, and now I don't just hope for financial freedom. I'm actively building it day by day, and you can too. But remember, this is just the beginning of your investing journey. The more you learn, the better you get. And trust me, there's always something new to discover. So, what's your next step? If you've been hesitating to start investing, now's the time. Open a brokerage account, make your first small investment, and watch your confidence grow with each step. Trust me, you've got this. And hey, you don't have to do it alone. Join our community of like-minded beginners. Hit that subscribe button and stay tuned for more tips, deep dives, and personal stories. So, what will your investment story look like? There's only one way to find out. Take that first step. I can't wait to see where your journey takes you. Subscribe for more financial tips, like and share this video. Comment below with your biggest investing question.